this is Captain America and the Avengers. So yeah, this is Captain America and the Avengers. And yeah, we're going to be playing Captain America and the Avengers. Now, just a little thing, just to let you know, this is a two-player. I wish it was a four-player version, but you know, Data East. So let's do this thing. I'm going with by assembling a team of supervillains, Red Skull seeks to conquer the world. He has used his wealth to assemble his evil team. He has used a mind control machine to bring them under his power. Now he controls their every action. Really? Go at once, Avengers! Try to crush his evil scheme. Scene 1, The Avengers. Yeah, I know. I know what you're thinking. This is shitty. How come it sound like that? Well, just to let you know, it's not about quality. Of course, you know, A is, well, you're having a punch and an attack, so you put them together, you can do this. Now, one thing you notice, there's so many things that haven't been seen in the Genesis version and the Super Nintendo versions of the arcade game. Why should it go well? Living laser and claw. I think everybody remembers a living laser. The one thing that is so different from the arcade version and the actual and the home versions Thank you, Quicksilver. Is the fact that the NES version is just basically a platformer. And like I said, if it was just about quality, like, oh, this is my quality, Whirlwind. Now, I can clearly say this. I miss Captain America. Shield Slash! I do miss Captain America. Actually, I miss the way old comic books are. I really do. I mean, these days it's about the money. It's not about, telling a good story. And I, as a writer, I can pretty much attest to that. Whirlwind's attack was just a setup. Other towns are being taken over. Hurry, Avengers! I enjoyed these flying scenes. But really, yeah. I'm saying, I mean it. I really do miss I kind of enjoy reading comic books. I don't really care much for the fan base or whatnot. You know, it's fine. But yes, since this is Comicame month, yeah. This is the summer of comic book and anime, which I shall call Comicame. Now see, look at these graphics. So crisp, so clean. And yet, you know, it's such a good game. But as I was saying about comic books, yeah. I actually miss, reading comic books. I don't really care for, the storyline. I mean, I don't mind I don't mind a good story. Shit, I think the problem these days with comic books is that you got too many people, and this is just what, and this is just me. But it's just me. But I think, you know, maybe people just need to just read a fucking comic book. Just read a comic book. You don't need to get all knee deep into it. And I can attest to this. I don't mean in a bad way, but it's why I'm not into any. I'm not really into any comic books per se. I think it's why I'm into manga now. I mean, I love comic books. Don't get me wrong. I just hate what they're doing to certain characters. Oh, we all know that's a Sentinel. Anyway, yeah. I really do hate the fact that, you know, every fan base has to have some haters about, oh, well, you know, it's like a certain fan base, like say Spider-Man. A Spider-Man fan base would have a whole great deal of Spidey fans, and I can attest to this. My girlfriend is a real big fan of Spider-Man. She's also a fan of, many of DC and as well as Marvel. And the truth be told, I never I never tell her about comic books because really, I don't really, I don't really get too much. I don't really buy comic books. The only time I actually buy comic books is around Quicksilver. The only time I actually do get into comic books is like at the um if I was at the Sci-Fi Comic Book Expo, and I would pick up some old comic books. The Grim Reaper. And thing is, I don't know, but it's like I stopped reading Marvel. Not because of the characters. It's like if people are getting that extreme about comic books, extreme or passionate, then look, I just want to read a comic book, okay? I want to read a comic book just to enjoy the story. I don't want to get shit deep into a, I don't really want to get shit deep about this and this about the writers and everything. I mean, if the writers are actually doing this just for money, Grim Reaper has regained consciousness, and Red Skull has commanded him to fight the Avengers to the finish. And he looks dumb as hell. What has Red Skull planned next? Challenge from the bottom of the sea, and we're gonna be facing Mandarin. But seriously, you know, I don't mind. But really, you know, I think the problem is there's a lack of story. They're doing it because, you know, they're under pressure too. One evil thing you done. I'm carrying one of your homies with you. I'm carrying one of your homies with me. And Wizard, you're just getting your ass handed to you. Wow, I really guess you do live up to the name. Hello, Namor. They're in the sea. Sup, Mariner? You know, the sea has seen better days. I ain't gonna lie. But you know, it's like my mom remembers Spider-Man. She remembers the old Spider-Man, you know. The one we used to grow up with. I mean, I remember the old Spider-Man cartoon with the old theme song. Yeah, I grew up watching Spider-Man. The old 1960s Spider-Man when it came on TV. And like I said, you know, I didn't mind it. Get off me. Get away from me. But yeah, I didn't mind, I didn't mind comic books because, the thing is, when I was growing up with comic books, I grew up reading Dick Tracy. And this is when I was going to, when I was visiting my grandparents. There was a comic shop. And this comic shop had Spider-Man. Of course, you had the Avengers and Daredevil and Superman and Batman and all of them. I didn't really go for them. I went for Dick Tracy. This is what I did. I went for Dick Tracy. Thank you, Quicksilver. I went for an issue of Dick Tracy and Ninja High School. If anybody actually remembers Ninja High School. But those were the comic books I read. And that's only because, they were enjoyable. It told a story. It didn't have anything to do with what the fan base was about, and, No, I don't want to see your power. Go away, Mandarin. Anyway, yeah, I, I only read comic books because, you know, I was a kid. You know, that's all I read. That's all I read comics for. I read them because they were, they took they took you to a different world. I I to this very day am still a bookworm. So you can tell, yeah. I only care. I only cared for stories. I didn't care much for how big of a fan base there was about it and everything, and I still don't. Stage clear. The Avengers have located Red Skull's hideout and uncovered his plans to build a secret base on the moon and to arm it with a giant laser cannon. If his plans are carried out, it will mean the destruction of not only America, but of the whole Earth as well. The giant laser cannon. Boom. But yeah, I mean, no offense to anybody who actually belongs to a fan base or whatever. I mean, no disrespect, but really, get off everybody else's back. I mean, they're all working, and even if you don't like it, you don't have to read it. That's how I feel. You don't like it, don't read it. It's like I stopped reading Marvel a long time ago. If I were to ever read anything from Marvel again, it'd be from the Golden Age when the heroes actually fought supervillains. But I think all that changed after 9/11. Comics just went into a whole new dimension. And no offense, but really, Obey Me or Die. Really, Juggernaut? Really? I don't think so, Mr. Kane Marco. Shield Slash! Shield Slash! But yeah, you know, I love my comic books, but I know there's some. I know that I don't know what's going on, but I know for certain that many people are just taking a stand against what they're doing to their comic. The people who are taking over at Marvel or DC. Like I said, everything what you're hearing now, this is just my opinion. So, whatever it is, you still there? So, just let me say what I really feel like saying. Because, like I said, this is from observation. From observation of mainly what I've grown up with, and what many other people have grown up with. Ask the police. Where is the laser? Ask the police. Oh, Ultron. really ask the police. Oh, too soon. Anyway, yeah. To me, I like comic books. I mean, I'll still read Dick Tracy. Whenever I go to the expo, the comic book expo, I go to get maybe a big book of Dick Tracy. And this is for me. This is for me. A, like a few issues of some old comic books. Nothing like Spider-Man, but I would get the the ones that haven't been seen. Like I actually have a comic book based off Area 88 and Astro Boy and Robotech and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The laser cannon has been completed. There's only a short time before the laser is set to fire. Hurry, Avengers! Crush Red Skull's plot. The end of Red Skull. But yeah, like I said, I didn't get the popular ones. I got the ones that weren't so popular. Like I also remember I got a Thundercats comic book. I think I saw a Voltron comic book. But yeah, I got the ones that just never sold. I mean, like I said, that's the reason why I do things that are underrated. Because not that many people will actually, they get into the hype and, like for me, yes, I like the stuff that hasn't been seen. Like I give certain games a try before I actually pass a judgment call on them. But I usually get like something that, very few people get. Like I don't really care much for what other people like. I mean, they're accustomed to like this console or that console, but I will get the one that there's a giant laser cannon, destroy it now. But I would prefer to get something like you realize it's so easy to break down a laser cannon with just a few punches and kicks. But yeah, it's that funny that I prefer to play something that's worth $15 or maybe $10, and yet it plays like a $50 game. Really? I'm trapped, huh? Quicksilver? But yeah, like I said, I would rather play a game that is like maybe 15 or 20 bucks. And it would play like if it was $50. Better than to play a $50 game and it plays like it's 99 cents. You know what I mean by 99 cents? Crossbones. Really? I mean, I would think, honestly, wow, you mean you're not into? I said, no, I'm not into it. It's like if you were to meet me in in person and say what I like, I said I like anything that has really fallen on the radar. Because the overly popular ones, they sometimes need to take a back seat. Stop, Red Skull! The Avengers. No matter where you escape to, we'll be right behind you. I mean, I'm sorry, but it only makes sense. The same thing with a comic book. I don't really care much for, the data, the fan base, or even, it's not over yet. But yeah, the stuff they do to certain characters, it's just me, or just doesn't look like Red Skull's about to go henshin. I remember every time when I played the Genesis version, which I did have at one point, I always used to fail at this part. I mean, to me, really, I can deal with this. I'm kind of glad I'm not into the loop. Because really, I can see why many people, they love their comics, but they tend to go overboard. But anyway, that's just me, though. I mean, I'm glad I like what I like, and I only like it because, to me, it's quality. It's quality time for me. I can read a book. I read it like it's a good story. But that's probably the writer in me saying, you know, quality than quantity. Bye bye, Giant Skull. that's it. That has been Captain America and the Avengers. Or the end of the beginning and the beginning of the end or something. But yeah, that's our first feature of Comicame for June. So yeah, I just told my perspective of comics and all. So hope you enjoyed the game as much as I have played it to the best of my ability. And mind you, yes, that is the comic. That is the arcade version. Thanks to the brave and valiant efforts of our heroes, the Avengers, Red Skull, and his evil plan was crushed. And the world, once again, breathe easily. And the world could once again breathe easily. But for the Avengers, the battle doesn't end here. Whenever evil exists in this world, they must confront it. Whether it's in an alternate universe, in the name of justice, Avengers unite and fight for great justice. In crappy 8-bit quality. But he'll be back. We know it. Just like all supervillains, they don't die. They get even. And they keep getting even until their satisfaction is eased. So this is the underdog, Pookie Izzy 7, and I want to thank you for actually watching Captain America and the Avengers, brought to us by Data East. Of course, it's the arcade version. I might do the Genesis version to show the difference. Oh, by the way, the Genesis version is the best version. I mean, it stays true to the actual arcade version, which you're seeing here. And, you know, you can't get much better than that. Some games that Genesis do is so much better than what Super Nintendo can do. And you will see that very shortly. Well, actually, throughout this whole ordeal, throughout the month of June. And about what I said about comic books. The end of it all is I don't mind comic books. And, you know, for anybody who loves comic books, more power to you. Captain America, Iron Man, Vision, Hawkeye, Quicksilver, Wonder Man, Wasp, Submariner, who actually showed in another game. Avengers. So with that, just enjoy the comic books as they are. Don't go knee deep into them. It's just fantasy after all. So the underdog has spoken. So with that, the underdog has spoken. Enjoy the comic books. Don't get knee deep into it. And I'm out.